So PlayStation VR, they calling it PSVR 2, which is a little bit of a misnomer for the folks that are really big PlayStation VR owners like myself, because there have been two VR headsets before this one. So there was the original one, and then there was a model update that increased, like just improved, did some subtle improvements to the headset design, to the control box that went to your PS4, and subsequently now I'm using it on my PS5 as a weight to PSVR, and also gave HDR support, better 4K support to that second model of the PSVR. Like if you try to find one used, a lot of people are trying to get rid of the version 1 of that and get to the version 2 because it's just that much better. So it just processed a lot better, did a lot better. But it did require a pass-through box, so it meant that you had to throw your HDMI cable. For the home theater lovers, that box, while it did a lot of things well and streamlined things to help it make it easier for your PSVR experience, it also just it was tricky. It made it was tricky. Some things to think about as well. You also had to have the PlayStation camera, and I don't have it with me. But the PlayStation VR controllers are okay. Like if you're going to use a PlayStation controller, it's fine if that's what it calls for the game. But the actual PlayStation controller, Move controllers are, I not really like them. I never thought they were super ergonomic. They're great if you're going to do any kind of saber type game. Beat Saber is great with those, but for anything else, don't really love them. And I'm going to get to that controller in a second. But the things that immediately stand out. One, I love OLED panels for VR. So as much as people love the Valve Index, and the Valve Index right now is the king. I'm cool with that. If you think it's the king, great. But its resolution just got blown out the water by the PSVR. I've got to list it up there. Being able to do folks, that's 4K per eye. That is 4K per eye. That is insane for a VR headset. That is, and like actual now, and there's also going to be eye tracking. And eye tracking inside of the headset, as far as we understand it from the CES presentation, also means that they could effectively know where your eye is moving and possibly reduce the resolution on the edges of the image if you're not looking at it, to help save processing power on the PlayStation 5. Again, this will be tethered to the PlayStation 5. We have no idea on a wireless connection, though. I know a lot of people love to go wireless outside of using Oculus Quest, and I don't know why. It is usually not a great experience, so I'm okay with tether so long as you can have a light connection. And from everything we understand, along with that connection, that it will be one USB-C connection to the headset out to your PS5. No box needed. Everything can be processed inside the PS5. So for the home theater aficionados, that's a great news because that just saves us so much as far as what we were having to hook up and plug in and do stuff like. So I'm very excited about that. No word yet if it will be backwards compatible with current PS4 VR games, but the assumption is that would be likely. There's already PSVR support on the PS5 because you can play your PS4 VR games on it. So it would just seem odd that wouldn't cross over. So if you look at this again, you've got headphone jack. It doesn't say there's built-in audio. That would seem a little. I'm assuming they're working off of the. That might be the one odd spot on here. Now, and how will it work with the headset? Because if you have the PlayStation Pulse 3D headset, it's really great, and you'd probably want to be able to use that with your PSVR 2. So when it says just headphone jack, I would hope that also means wireless connectivity would be allowed, or it just means that the PS5 is handling that and not the headset. So if that's all it means, is that the PS5 is going to handle it, not the headset, totally fine. So it might just be this chart. And again, this is IGN putting this together. IGN is still going off of the information that they have from CES as well as a lot of other folks. So they're just showing what they have. This is what they know. So, yeah. The Sense controllers. If you've not used a PS5 controller, I still really love the Xbox controller. I think ergonomically, I love it. It's a great fit for me. But what the PS5 controller can do is amazing. And I'm gonna switch real quick. Actually, that's another. actually, before I go to that, I want to do one again. So refresh rate on the Valve Index is better, right there at 144. So they got the PSVR in that spot, but you still got to have stations for the Valve Index, and we'll have complete inside-out tracking on this current PSVR 2, which is that's pretty big news. It's pretty good. And if you use the tracking on the Oculus Quest 2, if it's anything in that ballpark, and and that's assuming that you can't also get additional data from the camera on the PS5, because maybe you probably can, which would be, I would be surprised if you couldn't get info from the PS5 camera as well. So just add additional information. So, but yeah, that's big. That also might mean that the price overall, and I have no idea what price is going to be. Have no idea. I'm hoping it's going to be like $299, $399, so it's not the full price of a brand new PS5 also, and then that means cost per equipment, you're still coming in lower than the Valve Index, which can be $1,000 to $1,500 just for the headset and the controllers and everything coming with that. And the Valve Index controllers are amazing, but I want you to look at the Sense controllers. Look at those. It does pull a lot from the Oculus' design aesthetic, that ring to help be seen more by the camera so it can be tracked better. But just ergonomically, I think that's a much better decision than the previous PSVR controllers. I'm really jazzed about that. And knowing that it will have the same tech in it as the PS5 current controller with the dual sense and the haptic feedback, means it can be in that same ballpark as the feedback that you get on the Valve Index. We already know there will be hand tracking. There'll be finger tracking as far as like on knowing which fingers are doing what on the controller, based off because of that haptic feedback. So that's nuts. That's insane. And again, it could come in way less. It could come in like $500 to $600 less than the Valve Index, everything included. Granted, you wouldn't have to include thinking about buying your PC again as you do a Valve Index. But if you're just like, I wanted to jump in VR and I don't own anything, you could possibly buy a PS5 and a PSVR and still be less than whatever you'd have to pay for your computer and for the Valve Index. So I think this has the potential, whereas Oculus Quest has definitely hit a lower end market and it's been subsidized through Meta/Facebook. I think this could be the sweet spot for the gaming folks that really want to dive into a good VR experience, but don't want to pay the Valve Index cost. This could be beautiful. So I teased this last week. Hopefully my excitement for this is coming through, because I really think this could be great. I really think this could be awesome. Again, there probably might be some final tweaks to this design. Could definitely be some final tweaks to this design, showing the black example. Hey, those black PS5 skins are coming out this month. So if you want to change out your faceplate, you'll be able to do that soon. There's white versions of this controller as well. Still don't know what the headset looks like. I'm getting all excited, but we still don't know what the headset looks like. And I already told you about the headset. Or as far as like headphones, I don't know how that's going to work. But there's a lot of things to be excited about if you're a VR lover. Yeah, and I just think playing out on the PS5, ooh, I think it's gonna be good. All right,